Hello, good morning and welcome. The Finance Minister, Ken Oforiatta, has called on the private sector to support upcoming small and medium-scale enterprises to help meet various sustainable development goals. The minister says this will complement government's efforts in closing the SDG financing gap estimated at $3 trillion. He was speaking at the second edition of the Accra SDGs Investment Fair.
The theme for the 2019 Accra Investment Fair, Sustainable Development Financing, Building Mutually Beneficial Partnerships, was chosen because the Ministry of Finance recognizes the importance of collaborations between private and public actors in economic development. The SDGs are a collection of 17 global goals designed to be a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the fair, Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta noted the importance of private sector as a support for government's goal to reach the SDGs.
Tackling illicit financial flows and base erosion and profit sharing, which results in some $70 billion a year from Africa. I therefore encourage both local and foreign businesses and financial institutions to support the financing of the SDGs by directly partnering with government and also by injecting funds into private sector projects and businesses that have the potential to bring shared values, and by leading in the discussions to slay these elephants, this global financial architecture which disadvantage the countries in the South.
Meanwhile, Minister for Planning, Professor Jan Balfour, speaking on behalf of President Akufo-Addo, also stressed on the importance of job creation as an essential tool for development.
As we move towards developing our infrastructure and strengthening our manufacturing sectors, we are guided by the fact that digitalization will impact greatly on how we produce, on how we trade, and source the needed financing to expand our industries. The skill set demanded from our workforce tomorrow and in the future will be different from those today. That is why public-private collaborations will be essential in equipping the next generation with the requisite tool set that they need and we will need to compete in future job markets.
So as governments across the world are working at closing the SDG financing gap, which stands around $2.5 trillion to $3 trillion, Ghana is looking at using this fair as one of the ways to help raise investment for businesses that are geared towards the SDG goals. But then there have also been concerns that
Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has called on commercial banks in the country to focus on investing in initiatives that will promote the sustainable development goals. He indicated the world is moving towards programs that seek to promote green economies and that Ghana cannot be left out. The Vice President was speaking during the launch of the Sustainable Banking Principles and Sector Guidelines for Banks in the country.
There have been calls for financial institutions to support government's initiative to eliminate the risk of climate change. The Bank of Ghana's document on the sustainable environment for banks is aimed at guiding financial institutions in funding infrastructural projects that will preserve the environment. According to the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Ghana cannot be left out in the global drive towards a green economy.
It is clear that a lot of work has taken place. This has been a lot of work, and we are now being aligned to the global standards so that Ghana is, because as you can see, the thinking now is about climate change. That is the thinking, and money is only going to move to places which take climate change into account and sustainable banking principles into account. So if you are outside the loop, you will soon be basically sidelined. We cannot be outside the loop. This is why this is so important.
He revealed that crises related to climate change can affect financial stability.
There is no doubt that environmental risk and risk arising from climate change in particular constitutes a significant systemic risk for the financial sector. Such fundamental changes in the environment could affect economic and financial stability and the safety and soundness of financial firms, with clear potential implications for central banks.
Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, spoke on the importance of the guidelines.
Responsible banking practices will have to ensure that environmental and social risks associated with projects financed by banks are well managed. For banks to remain sustainable over the long term, it is important that their own internal operations and financing activities meet the present needs of economic agents today, while not compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. The Bank of Ghana, therefore, recognizes environmental and social risk management as key components of banks' overall risk management strategy.
The Ghana Bankers Association declared its support for the initiative. Eben Sabote's report for Joy Business.
And that's all in business. Back to Inimwa.